So we finally have a time to do a review on a Arsenal Firearms Striker 1. Let's start with the box. The box has a little weird locking system, and it's actually lockable. It's a nice sturdy box. If you lock this, it's kind of hard to open. So if you don't have a safe or you don't have any other way to store it, it's actually not that bad. And this is kind of screwed up. It opens. Because of this box, I'm assuming this gun doesn't come with a lock like all the other guns come with a lock that you're never gonna use anyway. So, breaking period, blah blah blah, manual. You get the key for the box. You get a bit extras, mag release. You get a pretty nice cleaning kit. Pretty thorough, pretty nice cleaning kit. You know, I wish all the manufacturers would include something like this, not just a brush. Most of them just give you a bore brush. So this is pretty nice. Okay, the nice thing about the magazines, I mean, yes, they are 10-round mags, but they took a full-size 17, I believe they're 17 rounders, and they basically made this dimple over here, and that limits the fall over. Doesn't go any lower, so it limits it to 10 rounds. Unlike the CZ magazines, original CZ 10-round magazines, comes with a extended plastic base pad, and it kind of sucks because you can't use any base pads made for the full-size magazines. Nobody really makes anything for the 10-round magazines. Plus, even though if you shoot the gun in a competition like IDPA or IPSC or USPSA for the production, the little bit of the mag is a little more weight to drop. So that's a big plus. Now, let's get the basic measurements out of the way. First, let me talk about the weight. This is by no means a light gun. Okay, I weighed it. You're gonna have to take my word for it. This was just over 2 pounds. Just over 2 pounds. My Brigadier Beretta Wilson Combat, it's 2 pounds and 3 ounces. So in weight, they pretty much just about the same, even though this is a Striker fired, and you can tell they're just about the same in size as well. So this is by no means a light gun. This is your full-size combat gun. That's what I would classify it as. Now, the only thing I changed, because I couldn't stand with the sights, so I took the magic marker, just black out the back, and put a little red paint on the front sides, just so I can see it. Now, you saw my shooting video. You saw that I was using a CZ mag as well without any problem. That is CZ 75 Megar mag, a full-size mag. These stupid things don't work. Given that, I also had an issue with the mag. I took it shooting to a weekly league, and behold, I had a problem on almost every shot on the first stage. I wound up changing the gun and going back to my Excalibur and shot the rest of the night with that, because every shot I took, just make sure this is clear, the magazine popped out. So every shot I had to tap and rag after every shot. So put the gun away, came home, and I was able to grab the magazine without touching the mag release and pulling it right out. You know, a little force, but it would pull right out. So what I wind up doing, I'll show you later on how once we take it apart, how it works inside. I started messing with the mag release. It holds better. It's a little pain to release now. It doesn't really drop free. I mean, you give it a little nudge, it comes out no problem. But I would really like to see them just to drop when I do that. So, I'm hoping it'll go away with the time. Now, we talked about the weight. Let's measure the gun up. So you got 8 inches, 8¼ inches. I'm gonna call it 8 3/8 from tip of the barrel all the way to the end of the beaver tail. Now, with the magazine in it, we're 5 1/2 inches tall. from the top of the slide to the bottom of the magazine. So, like I said, by no way a light gun. Now, the two-tone looks nice, but the only reason I went with this is because the guy at the store cut me slack, because I guess nobody liked the color. I don't really care about. I'm not a guy that I worry about how the gun looks like, especially this kind of gun. Like when I buy this, I buy it for the looks as well. But I bought this for shooting. The problem is it just gets dirty. It just, if you got dirty hands, everything transfers onto the frame, and you can tell that it's just filthy. I don't know what kind of polymer they use, but the polymer itself seems to be a little more stickier. Not a whole lot, but a little more sticky. I mean, gun sits in the hand real good. So far, there's not a whole lot of stippling on it, but it feels good. With the reputation of having a highest bore axis, I have to agree with that. It's probably one of the most highest bore axis gun I use. I mean, this is my thumb, and the barrel's right here, so I'm literally the center of the barrel's maybe half an inch about my thumb, opposed to let's say Excalibur. The barrel's right here. This is my thumb, so I'm probably quarter inch more, a little bit more. This has a fairly high bore axis still, but especially with the high grip, you can keep it. But this gets the edge. Now, does it make it shoot better? It does feel better than shooting a regular striker fire, Glock 19 or Glock 34, 35. It just feels better. Just feels better because you're that much higher to the barrel. Can't really compare to this because something with the rotating barrel and the way this gun designed, this makes it still softer shooting and a little more popular for me. Now, let's strip the gun. The nice thing is how easy it is to strip the gun. You got a pin over here that you just pull on the other side. The pin is captive. That's a nice thing. Release the striker and pull the slide off. Now let's pull the slide away for now. Like I said, the pin is captured. That's a nice detail. Now the actual frame inside the polymer, you can see it's got almost a full-size rails. Goes 3/4 of the, not just the little pieces like most of the polymer gun, and it just screams quality. It's real nice. Now, what doesn't scream quality is a mag release. I'm just gonna take it out and show you. At the same time, I'll show you. It's really easy to change mag release if you wanna go with the ambidextrous, or if you just wanna swap it from left to right. I put the ambidextrous on, but I didn't like it. I wound up taking it out. I just put it on because it felt a little longer and made it a little easier to drop the mag. Basically, all you have to do, you just gotta push on this all the way through. What I do is take the tension off the spring just to make it a little easier. Okay, and this thing pops out. You can basically swap it to the other side without any tools. You can do it all by hand. When I say without any tools, it helps when you don't have a big fat fingers. Okay, I'm gonna use a tool. I'm a wuss. Okay, and you get it on the other side. Now, let me take the whole thing out and show you what I mean about pretty poor design for the mag release. Alright, so this is it. This is the actual mag release. Alright, it's just a piece of metal and your button rides right here. So the button is held in by tension, and it's got a conical shape over here, and as you push it, it pushes the button down. In theory, that's nice and dandy. Problem is, These don't really made well with the actual magazine. See what I'm talking about? It just does not really work with that as well. Now, if you figure you have the button right here, okay? Now we got way too much pushing against the magazine. That's why it doesn't want to drop. Now, I had to take these lips and bend them in slightly so the magazine doesn't drop by itself after every run fired. When I did that, it was too much. I couldn't take the magazine out, so I had to play with it and try to find the sweet spot. And that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. That on such a nice gun with such a innovative design, they put stupid part like this that they put no thought into, and they use like a really crappy steel for this, since I was able to manipulate the lips with just a pair of pliers. I'm pretty sure I can send it to a company. They'll honor the warranty, blah blah blah. But no, in reality, what they're gonna do? They're gonna take this and replace it. That's all they're gonna do, and it's not really what I want. I want something that's gonna work 100%. It's gonna drop the magazine. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna continue to play with this a little bit. Maybe take a Dremel to a little bit. Just try to find a sweet spot so it holds the way I want. Now, I'm just gonna leave it out for now. Now let's talk about the slide. Now, I shot this yesterday. I haven't cleaned it. I only put a couple of rounds through it. Let's start with the recoil rod. It's a plastic. It's captured, which is a nice thing. Another nice thing would be if they put something at the end. The first time I thought I lost something, I was missing something, because even though I said I don't really care what the gun looks like, when you look from this side, it looks like it's unfinished, like you missed something. So that's just a thought. Now, this is the heart of the gun. The barrel doesn't tilt. This doesn't have a standard lockup, standard John Browning lockup with a tilting barrel or rotating barrel, like a Grand Power or PX4. I forgot what this is called. There's a name for it. I'm gonna research it, maybe put it in the description if I don't forget. But this block is what makes all the magic happen. Basically, this block comes up. So that's your lockup. Okay. Now you see the block looks like you can put it either way, but obviously whoever designed the gun was smart enough to know there's gonna be a bunch of dumbasses putting it together, so it can only go one way. Okay. Once you take it out, your barrel comes out. Fairly nice and easy to clean. There's virtually no feed ram, at least no extended feed ram like on most of the other guns, because put the magazine in, your bullet is right there. Let me grab a bullet and show you what I'm talking about. This is just a dummy round. Now, this sits in the frame. Here's the barrel. Okay, so you can see that bullets, they just go straight up. Don't really need a feed ramp. Hope you can see that. Lighting sucks in here. I gotta do something about it. Now let me put this extractor back in. By extractor, I mean magazine catch. It just basically sits in a frame. And you just push it with your finger over the tool, and the actual button, release button, is what holds the spring in place, and spring holds the magazine button in place. So that's actually pretty neat. I just wish, let me try it again, see if it show you how it works. Not sure how well it shows up. Hopefully you can see that. Alright, so to put the gun together, just reverse the process. Barrel in. Like I said, the block only goes one way. Recoil rod. And just slide it back on the frame. Now, trigger. I love it and I hate it. On the one hand, I like the trigger. I like it. It's real nice, real crisp. It's probably lighter than my Grand Power trigger that I keep bragging about. It's got a nice short reset. And another thing is, it's nice and wide. See how wide it is? So it's really comfortable with your finger on it. What I don't like is this. I don't like this play. It's like way too much. You know, when you have a side to side plate, like Grand Power, rock solid, even though it's plastic. This has a lot of side plate. I'm not too fond about that, but you know, other than that, it's got an excellent trigger. Now, like I said about the sights, I'm gonna figure something out, get some sights. I was looking at the Dawson Precision. They might be able to get me a new sight, or I might actually be able to just drill it out, because the white inserts they have, they go all the way through. I might be able to just drill it out and cut a slot on top and put a fiber optic. The back, people complain about the backside, rear side being a part of the back plate. I don't really care. I don't really mind that, to be honest. They don't bother me at all. I just wish the whole back plate would be black. If this would be black, I mean, honestly, the way they had these sights set up with the light slide, they would be better off just having a plain black sights, target sights on this gun. That would be better than the white sights that they have, because that just, you present it, you know, in front of your eyes, and you lose the sights. Now the slide release or slide catch, slide stop, whatever you want to call it, is really Glock-like. It's really small, but I didn't find it hard to hit. It's actually nice, and what I like about it, they put it in the right spot. The way the gun is, at least for me, the way I hold the gun, I just don't have an issue of having a finger right over it. You know, worry about pushing it down and gun unlocking back on the last shot. That works fine. Alright, so it's your first basic review. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about the magazine release. I might mess with it a little more. I might pack the gun up and ship it to for a repair. But I don't really want to wait forever for to get a gun bag and deal with the shipping for a stupid thing that they're not gonna do a whole lot. I might try to call them and have them just send me a new mag release spring, or whatever the hell you want to call it, and keep it as a spare and experiment with this one to get it dropped the way I want. Because this is, see, like right now it's just really, I can't even get it out. It's, you gotta, like, if I push it, I gotta pull the magazine back to get it out. And mag release is stiff. You really have to push on it, so that kind of drives me nuts. Now the Grand Power, on the other hand, nice big mag release, ambidextrous, and I mean, it's heavy, but it's not that heavy. Now most of the guns don't use just a spring for a mag release. They usually use some kind of latch, just like a Grand Power. You got actual machine part. CZ's got a similar part. I don't know why the hell they decided to go this way. It would be nice if I put the barrel the right way. So that's my biggest gripe about the gun. That and the fact it wouldn't, even though it worked out of the box, right out of the box, I shot about 300 rounds, no issues. The sights were right on, like I said, I don't like the size. I wish they would do something else. I understand they have a models with the fiber optic size and whatnot. I guess you can if you choose the right model, then you can't really be bitching about the size. But the mag release really gripes me, because one of the reasons why I bought this is since I got rid of the CZ75 SPO1, I was gonna use this for my son so he can shoot local IDPA and USPSA matches with me, and he's a beginner. He liked the CZ. He liked because it was heavy, but this is pretty much just as heavy, and you don't have to worry about safeties and all the other crap, So that makes it a little better. Now, speaking about the safeties, this has a trigger safety, Glock like, or should I say maybe not a Glock like, more like a MMP. So that's your actual safety, and I believe there's an internal block as well, like a drop block. So that's it. It's your Arsenal Strike One in a nutshell. I'm gonna keep shooting it. I'm gonna keep messing with that mag release until I get it perfect. I'm gonna put a couple thousand rounds through it, and I'll report back. So far, the mag release was the only problem, like I said. The actual shooting of the gun and wasn't really picking any ammo. Shot my reloads right out of the box, no problem. So hopefully I'll get a mag release straightened up, and I'll be happy camper. All right. Have fun, everybody. Keep shooting.